Hey up and welcome to Callum's Corner. Right, Eddie is here. Say, hey up, Eddie. Yes. He looks happy, but don't let him fool you. He's teething at the moment. He's an absolute nightmare. He's like a pint of milk that's been left out in the sun too long. He's gone all sour. He's got a couple of little teeth though. They're quite funny. He might show you later. He might not. He's a little bit private about them. Anyway, he's over. He's teething. I'm giving my sister a little break because it's heavy going when they're teething. And we're out in the garden. I'm having a cup of coffee. I've laid out a blanket for him. He's crawling around out on the grass. I wouldn't say loving it, but he's happy enough for a change. Anyway, out in the garden, the next door neighbour's kid is playing. It's this girl who's about 12 years old, goes to a private school down the road. I had hoped to be back at school by now because she's a nightmare, always kicking off next door, making horrible noises. But apparently it's one rule for the rich and another rule for everyone else. Yeah, good point, Eddie. Anyway, she's got a friend over. They're both about 12, and I can hear them playing over there. The next door neighbour's kid is doing handstands and stuff and cartwheels and making the other girl watch. Every time she asks to have a go and for the other one to watch, she says, no, I'll do it because I'm more talented than you. More talented than you. I don't know what the hell they're teaching them down at that bloody bourgeoisie breeding ground, but it does not sound good. Anyway, after a little while, the other girl gets bored of it, as you would, and starts crying. The mum comes out, the next door neighbour, and says, oh, what's the matter, what's the matter? She tells her, she's crying, she says, I want to go home, I want my mum to come. Next door neighbour wouldn't have it, starts persuading her, like blackmailing her, saying, oh, it's really rude if you come to someone's house and then go straight away, you don't want to upset us, do you? Absolutely outrageous. Anyway, she's crying and crying, and eventually they give in, they phone the mum, she comes, they go back in the house. After a while, I start to hear these good awful noises of her daughter having a tantrum in there. I heard plates breaking, her stamping, her shouting. I didn't want her to go home, it's not fair. So I'm thinking, oh God, this is awful. This is absolutely awful that we've got to listen to this. I start to take Eddie inside, but before I can, the daughter comes out and starts shouting over the fence, Callum! Callum! Oh, yes. She says, oh, I can see you've got Eddie there, your nephew. Can he come over and play? I said, no, he can't come over and play. He's too young. He's only 6 months old. So I'll get him in the house as quick as I can because I didn't want to be a part of her next tantrum. Sure enough, it starts kicking off again. I can hear it through the bloody walls. I want him to come and play. Jesus. 5 minutes later, there's a knock at the front door. It's the mum. She wants him to come over. She's actually coming and asking me, even after I've said no. Now, this mum, we've had run-ins before. She used to come over here all the time, like invade my mum and just drink bottles of red wine. She used to bring 2 bottles with her every time and give my mum half a glass and then just down the rest. She did this once and then went and picked her kid up from school in the car. Her husband was furious, right? She came over the next day and asked us to lie to him, say, can you tell him I wasn't drinking? We said no. So look, we don't want to get involved with him, get involved in your problems and stuff. And to be honest with you, you were drinking. You had nearly 2 bottles of red wine. She got a right cob on about this, and it's never been the same since, right? She's been really schneidy about it since. Every little opportunity she can get, she has a little dig. The other day, a few months ago, I came home from work and she was in our front garden ripping the ivy off our front wall. So, what are you doing in our garden? She said, oh, this can't stay. You can't have the ivy here. It's an eyesore. What do you mean it's a bloody eyesore? It's our garden. It's got nothing to do with you. I don't let it infringe on anyone else's garden. I don't let it grow too high or anything. I'll cut it down eventually. I just like the look of it. Yeah, again, good point, well made, Eddie. I think he wants to be on camera. Come on, Eddie, you're going to make me lose my narrative. Here he is. Say hello again. Hey, up. Well, I don't hit the camera. You can't control that kind of aggression. It's good. Anyway, so she's at the front door. We've had run-ins with her before, but I've always been as nice as possible because you don't want to rock the boat too much with your neighbours. So she's knocked on the door. She says, oh, we'd like Eddie to come over and play. I was like, no, I'm sorry. He's teething at the moment. It's not right for him to be with someone else. He just needs to be around a familiar face. And she wouldn't have it. She wouldn't have. Starts arguing with me about it. Saying, oh, it's fine. I've got a daughter. I know what to do. You know, I'm experienced with kids. It'll be fine. I said, no, I'm sorry. It's not what's best for him. I'm going to keep him here because he's not happy. He just needs to be around people he knows. Oh, so, okay, fine. Right, well, she can come round and spend some time here then, can't she? No, she can't. I said, no, she can't. I'm sorry. It's not convenient now. I'm seeing my little nephew. I want to spend the time with him. I'm sorry. She got some right cob on about this. She's stamping off back to her own garden, muttering away about how pathetic it was, how selfish it was. Selfish! Just because you want me to distract your kid so you can have a bloody break. You deal with it. You have the kid, slams her front door, come back in, Eddie's here, we're fine, you know, having a nice time and stuff. And I get a text from her saying, I've just noticed your bin's still out the front. It's now over an hour since the bin men came. It's not acceptable for it to still be out there. Please take it in or I will report you to the council. Are you having a laugh? Because my bin's gone back into the house an hour late. You are beyond pathetic. If you want to start this war, you go ahead. But I tell you what, you've got no idea what you were getting into. I will finish this war with great relish. Go on, Eddie. Say your goodbyes. He bloody loves being on camera. This is the happiest as he's been all morning. Hey up, hey up, hey up. Loves it. Absolutely loves it. Loves his Uncle Callum. There's no way I'm letting them next door pollute him with their revolting little values. It's not happening.